That's why, you know, it was tough to watch. There was a start, I don't know if you remember last year, it was a Sunday afternoon against the Cincinnati Reds in late April. And do you remember that start?
Yeah, I got sent to the bullpen that day.
You did after, because it just wasn't you. And it wasn't the fact that you couldn't throw where you wanted to throw it, Barry, but it was just the whole vibe in the crowd. It was so against what I had seen when you would, again, Yankee Stadium, the most hostile crowd in the world. You went in there and beat Roger Clemens, didn't care. And now your home fans were kind of turning on you. Just speak to what the mind can do there to take the talent away that you obviously had, that just blocked it off at that moment and didn't let you do what you had done all your life.
Yeah, well, I think not caring, like you said, I didn't care in Yankee Stadium. It's like you got nothing to lose. And I think that most of us come up through life, whether we're playing baseball or playing music or really just doing anything, and you have nothing to lose because you're nobody. And then all of a sudden you build up this stockpile of stuff from having success, and now you feel like you have this whole thing that you can lose if you don't keep doing that. So then the mindset changes into, I need to not lose all this stuff I've built up, instead of to just have that attitude of, look, I don't have anything to lose, and just go out there, and whatever builds up as a result of this is great, but it doesn't feed me what I need. What I need is right here.
You know, at the very time that you were struggling like that, Dontrell Willis from the Bay Area, from Alameda's Encinal High, went through the same thing, and you guys had a similar career path, and he's still struggling with this thing called anxiety disorder that he's trying to work through. Do you think in some respects, Barry, you had some form of that at that time in your life?
I mean, I don't really know about like a medical disorder. Yeah. I think all of us could probably be deemed as anxious at probably any time of our life. The fact that it's, you know, it's a fishbowl and a lot of people can see it may make it worse, of course. But yeah, I've definitely gone out to the mound and not been the most confident person. I can pretty much say that every major league player has gone through that.
And you've always been very honest when you had great success to the moment now, and now you're back. So it's been a great pleasure to watch the ups and downs of your career. But to talk about the current group, because when we saw you come up with the A's, you were a part of the big three. You had Tim Hudson and you had Mark Mulder and yourself, and now you're part of a new big three. The way you're pitching, this top three of this rotation is as good as anybody in baseball. Speak to where you're at now as a part of this new young three with Timmy and Matt Cain, can compare it to what you went through when you were coming up with Tim Hudson and Mark Mulder.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely similar on paper. It's definitely a different experience for me, being a young kid that's part of something. Huddy being the veteran, I guess. You know, he's 3 years older, but he was the veteran when I came up, and Mulder was a year older. Now me being the veteran and Timmy next in line, and then Kaner being the youngest, is different, but it still is a threesome that if we can line up for a series, which is what we always look forward to back in Oakland, if we could get all three of us in one 3-game series, it was fun. And, you know, we got that coming up this weekend. We got Timmy, myself, and Kane pitching against the Rockies, and I anticipate playoff game atmosphere, and I'm just really looking forward to Saturday night.
Do you see a little Tim Hudson and Tim Lincecum? I know, you know, Tuddy didn't throw 95, 96 the way Lincecum does, but people underestimate the competitive side of Lincecum, don't they? Does he have a little of that Tim Hudson bulldog in him, Barry?
Oh yeah, he definitely does, and especially, you know, being kind of a smaller guy compared to the team. You know, he's 5'11", 6 foot, and kind of a skinnier kid, but you know, he's very strong, and so he goes out there, I think, with that bulldog mentality, because that's something I think that he's probably needed for his entire career, from high school when he was smaller than everybody to college, and then, you know, winning All-Americans every year. But that competitive fire is something that he and Huddy definitely have in common, and you know, you can't underestimate Tim, as laid back as he is off the field. He's a bulldog out there.
All right, lastly, I want to change gears on you, because I know you had a big thrill last night. You grew up in a musical family with your mom and dad. The great Carlos Santana was at the Yard last night. In fact, we had him on the show, and I was just thrilled to speak to him for 5 minutes or so. Tell me about the time you spent with the great Carlos last night, Barry.
Yeah, it was just great seeing Carlos, you know, giving him a hug. He's a very spiritual guy, and someone that, you know, I feel like I can relate to on a lot of topics. And then, you know, Carl, his percussionist, was awesome too, and we just kind of hung out and talked for about 10-15 minutes about all kinds of stuff and what it's like to get into the zone on the field versus when you're playing a live performance, and having an entire team be in sync to win a game versus having an entire band be in sync to be, you know, right in the pocket. A lot of those things have striking similarities, so we were vibing on that for a while.
Yeah, he was vibing with us last night. He is a spiritual man, to be sure, and it's great to see you back with that Carlos Santana type stage presence, Barry. Thank you so much for your time tonight and your honesty, and just great to have you back pitching the way we recall when you first came up.
Thanks a lot, Greg. Appreciate it.